Hey, Peculiar people. Thanks for checking out the latest from Peculiar on Purpose. A few weeks ago, I was in the store in the card aisle and I'm just looking through card after card. And as I kept looking, I was getting mentally drained. This happens to me every year without fail around before the third Sunday in June. I'm talking about Father's Day. Picking a Father's Day card can be very difficult, especially when the reality of your relationship or your dynamic or lack thereof with your father certainly isn't expressed in the traditional Father's Day cards. I was thinking maybe they could have more realistic cards that reflect most people's realities. Something like, "Hey Dad, I wish that you were more present when I was growing up. But now that I'm an adult, I understand that you gave me the best that you could. Happy Father's Day." Or, "Hey Dad, I hope that we can continue working on our relationship. Happy Father's Day." Or even, "Hey Dad, Happy Father's Day." I'm joking, but you get what I'm saying. A lot of us experience Father's Day very differently because we have such a range of experiences in our relationships with our fathers or lack thereof. Take me, for example. I didn't grow up in the home with my father, although I knew him. He lived on the West Coast in California, and I grew up with my mother on the East Coast / Midwest in Ohio. I'm the oldest of my dad's kids, and so oftentimes because I wasn't in the home with him with my other siblings on his side, I didn't feel as close to him or as supported by him or even as loved by him. Also, my dad married and my mom married, and so it's also a dynamic there where you have a stepmom and a stepdad, and me being a child who's not the stepmom's biological child. So obviously all these different factors will come into play in my relationship with my dad or lack thereof growing up. Now I will say over many years and especially into my 20s, my dad and I had tough talks and we actually began to intentionally work on our relationship, and I'm thankful for that. That's not the case for everyone though, and how do you wrap that up into a Father's Day card? A lot of them have the sentiment of "you're the world's greatest dad" or "you taught our family so much." But what happens when that's not your experience? People grow up not knowing their father at all. Other people's fathers have abandoned their family and left them when they were children or teenagers. Some people's fathers have passed away, and so this holiday may be very hard for them to get through. So knowing all this, I wanted to write this blog post because I wanted to acknowledge that everyone experiences Father's Day differently. Your experience may not be wrapped up in the typical Hallmark card, and that's okay. Sometimes our fathers fail us. The male figures in our lives just don't live up to our expectations. Our uncles sometimes aren't there, or our brothers disappoint us, or we just have these absentee fathers sometimes, or even if they're there, they're not as present as you would like them to be, and it can really leave a void. So I just wanted to encourage everyone as the holiday just passed and you may be feeling a range of emotions. Maybe some people have great relationships with their father, and so it is a time of celebration, and that's a blessing. And maybe people are working on their relationship, and that's awesome as well. So for all the varied experiences out there, I just want to recognize that that's real and it's okay to feel that way. It's okay if Father's Day can be kind of touchy. And I want to remind all of us, me included, that no matter how good or how not so good our earthly fathers are, our heavenly Father is greater. In Proverbs, it says that God is a father to the fatherless, and the word also says that he will never leave us or forsake us. So I hope that this can bring some comfort to anyone who may have felt a little different this Father's Day, because it can definitely hit differently sometimes. I do want to add before I wrap up this part, just a thank you and kudos and big ups to all the fathers out there, especially the Black fathers who are taking care of business, who are being there emotionally present, physically present, for spiritually present for their children. It is a life-changing thing. I'm understanding that more and more the older that I get, just how the presence of the father in the home and in the lives of the children makes such a difference and impacts their lives, I mean, phenomenally in huge ways that will go with them into the future. So big ups. I encourage you. I pray for you that you have the strength to keep walking in that fatherhood. Growing up, I had headaches all the time. You can ask anybody. It's like the one thing that you will know about me is Shayla has headaches. Sometimes they feel like migraines and I would be nauseous, but for the most part, they were just tension headaches, like kind of pounding in my eye or in my head. So my mom didn't really think anything of it. She thought I had sinuses. I pop a sinus pill, some Tylenol, and keep it pushing. But as I got older, not only did the headaches persist, but they got worse. I have terrible neck pain. This is a present tense. I have terrible neck pain, stiffness in my neck, burning in my neck, pain in my ears that shoots up to my eyes. And then on top of that, the pain would get worse and worse. And some days, the pain will go down my arm and my whole arm will be tingling and numb. I couldn't move it. In the middle of my back, it's often burning. I mean, just imagine trying to sleep like this. There's many nights where I'm just tossing and turning in pain and often don't get good sleep at all. And unfortunately, I have been dealing with this since I was a child. Like I said, it's just gotten worse and worse into adulthood. So one day I was telling my friend about this. This is back in 2015 or maybe 2014. And she was asking if I ever went to a chiropractor. And I'm like, I'm not even sure I know what a chiropractor does fully, because nobody I knew in my Black household and in my Black family and in my Black community had ever been to a chiropractor. So she told me that they help with headaches. And I decided to take her advice and I went to see a chiropractor. At the time, they explained to me that I may have scoliosis, because they could kind of tell by looking at my frame, and that my spine might be a little bit off. But I didn't go through with keeping up with that chiropractor because I couldn't afford it. I was a recent graduate. I didn't have the best of health insurance. And when I saw that bill, it's like, okay, we're not gonna keep doing this. So years go by and here I am to present day, a few months ago, and I am just in the worst pain. Sometimes it's so debilitating, I can't even get off the couch. I can't even move. So I looked into a chiropractor again, and by God's grace, I found one that was actually able to really explain things to me. I got an MRI and I got x-rays, and the doctor explained to me that number one, I have scoliosis, which means that my spine is curved instead of being straight the normal way. And number two, I have something called reverse cervical lordosis. And so instead of my neck being my spine and my neck being curved like normal, mine actually doesn't have a curved and it's positioned in the wrong direction. So he was explaining to me the reason I'm having the headaches and the tension is because if you imagine when you put your foot on a water hose, all that pressure that's being built up, that's what's happening for me. My spine being misaligned and my neck being misaligned like that, my brain is not able to send signals to the rest of my body. So one, constant fatigue, not operating at my best level and best self. And then two, the pressure and the buildup from where the spine is pinching the nerves in my neck. It's deep, y'all. I mean, this is like a serious illness, and one that you wouldn't even think about unless you had the means to actually look deeper into it. So working with the chiropractor, they tell me how much the bill is gonna be, and it's like $2,000, and that's only for a couple of months. And he's saying I'm gonna have to go to the chiropractor to try to get this corrected for the next year to year and a half. And I got insurance. Now, by God's grace, And I'm thankful now I'm in a position to be able to afford this, and I've been going and I've been getting the help I needed. But as I've been going to this chiropractor for the past few weeks, all I notice is that no one in there looks like me. No one. Okay, and you know what I mean. From the youngest people in there, them kids in there look like 6 and 7 years old or younger, to the elderly, straight white hair. No one looks like me, and it's a range of ages, but not one person is a black person. And as I leave the chiropractor's office, every time I just realize, wow, being healthy is truly a luxury, and one that most black people and people of color simply cannot afford. And it's ridiculous, and it should not be this way. You know, not even just being healthy is a luxury, but to even have the means to consider getting healthy is a privilege. When I was growing up, my mom was a single mother raising 3 children. She ain't make over like 30K. I don't even know how she raised us, honestly. So there's no way that she would have been able to even look further into my headaches to see, well, is this something more? She didn't have the time, and she certainly didn't have the money or the means to do that. So I wrote this post because it just really standing out to me the older that I get, how much racism has caused disparities in the different systems in our nation. I know privilege and white privilege are testy words and subjects out there. And I know that there's some white people and well-off black people who feel some sort of way when they hear these words. I hear people say, well, that's unfair, and they complain about why we're still harping on privilege. But it's real. Like, let's be clear. This inequality is real, and it should not be this way. Black and brown people should be able to be healthy. They should have the opportunity to look into their child's health or their own health further, but not have it be that opportunity be taken away from them because they don't make enough money, because they've been disenfranchised for generations. It doesn't make any sense. So the next time you so easily pull out your health insurance card and you go to the doctor because you ain't feeling well, or you stroll in a whole paycheck because you want to be healthy, just remember how privileged you truly are. And a lot of people are just not in the same boat, and it's not right. It's not fair. Racism is real. The effects are real. The disparities are real. And it's not a thing of the past. It is something that is affecting people every single day and keeping them from living full, healthy, abundant lives. Now, before I wrap this up, I know y'all see this beautiful t-shirt. What is this, Shayla? What do you have on? Well, let me show you. Sorry, I'm recording myself. Can you see it? Do you see it? Black woman, you are not broken. Yes, so Peculiar on Purpose is going to be selling t-shirts. So this is one of them. And then I have a few more that I will be selling. So you can check them out on the website. I will throw some pictures up there so you can see it a little more clearly. Please go to the website. Please support if you like the t-shirts. I just wanted to have something nice. I know that everybody's out there selling t-shirts and there's so many options, but every time I see one, there's some that are so dope. But I really do want to have t-shirts that kind of represent the peculiar person that I am, that are a mix of like Black Christian girl, you know, creative, you know, social justice. I don't really see a lot of t-shirts that have a fuse of those things. So I'm really working hard to put out some t-shirts that kind of encompass all of those things that make us peculiar. So I hope that you will check them out and that you will buy some if you feel so inclined. I failed to mention the purpose behind this t-shirt, because you know we all about purpose over here. So oftentimes as Black women, you know, women in general, but especially Black women, and especially my darker skin, chocolatey sisters, we can feel like we're just not good enough. The representation is increasing, and I am so thankful for that, but we still got a ways to go. So We don't see a lot of women on TV, and social media is getting better, but who look like you, who are praised, for natural hair or brown and darker brown skin. You can often feel like I need to change, something's wrong with me. I need to fix myself. I'm broken. And I want this t-shirt to remind us we are fearfully and wonderfully made, each individually, just like we are. And Black woman, you are not broken. You don't have to fix your hair. You don't have to fix your body parts. You don't have to fix your smile. Nothing that you think, oh, maybe would make me be better. Of course, improving yourself, there's nothing wrong with that, but you don't have to truly fix anything. You are the way God designed you. Black woman, you are not broken. And I hope this t-shirt is a constant reminder of that. As always, thank you for hanging out with me and checking out the latest from Peculiar on Purpose. Don't forget that you can read all of these blog posts and many more on the blog peculiaronpurpose.com. That's where you can also sign up for the newsletter, which these YouTube videos go into. And if you're watching this, you on YouTube, so you can make sure you also subscribe if you haven't. Hit the bell so that you can be notified, and the like button. Definitely appreciate that. Don't forget that you can also check us out on Facebook and Instagram, both at Peculiar on Purpose. And until next time, stay cool because it's getting hot out there, but also stay peculiar.